Hello everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, it's been a crazy busy day for me. How is your day going? Alright, a quick message here. There we go. Alright, I'm working on YouTube and Facebook today, so it is all good, all good. So hello everybody, how are you? How's the weather in your hometown? Because it is a gorgeous day today here. I don't know, we're supposed to have a record high today. It says it's 56 here already. It's supposed to get up to 62, so that is a gorgeous day. I haven't been outside yet. I've just been in the house, and I am freezing inside the house, so I think I need to go outside and get some sun after I get done with this, because it's cold here in my studio. Had to go get a sweater because I was freezing. So I'm glad you're all here to come paint with me today. It's going to be a really fun little like Valentine type project. You know, last year I did the heart cookies, and those were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed creating those, but this year I wanted to do something a little bit different. So yeah, so we're doing what we're doing today. We're doing what we're doing today. Super gloomy in Indiana. Whew, too bad. Well, maybe you'll get some of this sunshine coming your way that we've got here today. It's 37 in Michigan. That's some probably normal temperatures for this time of year, so we're above average today. But I'm going to make sure I have both the YouTube and the Facebook comments up. So first of all, for all of you that watch my coffee and chat, I just want to say thank you so much. I have 4 of my mystery boxes left, and so I'm going to probably next week make up some more. I won't have time to do it this week. We have company coming in, so at the end of the week, so I won't get any made up this week, but I have 2 boxes of stuff out there to go through, and I have some larger pieces that I want to put on my website to actually sell some of my painted stuff. So be watching for that. I might come and do a coffee and chat where I show you the items that my painted pieces that I'm selling, so you can get an idea of how big they are and what they look like in person, you know, kind of in person in front of me as best you can. So hi Holly, good to have you here on Facebook. So hello everybody. I'm so happy that you are here to join me today. It's going to be an incredibly really fun project, and at the end of this project I'm going to show you what we're going to do next week. I'd like to try to get back into the habit of doing one every week. Probably going to be on a Wednesday as well, because that day just seems to be working out, but I have to make sure I don't have any appointments or anything already scheduled for that day. Yeah, I am ready to get painting with you guys. So let me put myself up here in the corner. Up here. I'm going to keep my palette on the main camera today. I'm not going to turn my palette cam on because we don't have very many colors in this, and I think it can be a little bit closer to you this way so you can actually see what I'm doing with my paints a little bit better. So I'll keep it here beside me. So this is what we're painting, you guys. This is a 7x9 canvas panel. I'm not sure where this one came from. It doesn't have a name on it, so it might be some I bought off of Amazon. I bought some off of Amazon that had all different sizes, so this may be from there because there was no name on the back of the canvases. So I wanted to tell you how I prepped my canvas, because I just don't like the canvases as they come out of the package. They're not smooth enough for me. So I like to either apply 2 coats of either just white paint or a white gesso or a white chalky paint. Any of those three will work. Whatever you have on hand, that will work. And I lightly sand my coats so that they are smooth. So this is almost as smooth as paper here. It's definitely more like a watercolor canvas. It has very, very little texture in it, and I applied 2 coats of just white paint. So I think it's important to prepare your canvas just like you would your surface, because you know, the factory gesso or whatever they put on there is never high quality. So it makes you have to work really hard to get the paint on the canvas. You know, you've got to kind of scrub it in there and make it go down into the canvas, and that's never any fun. So if you can, you know, prepare it a little bit ahead of time, that's going to help make it a much easier process. So let me turn it this way because I've given myself a little mark here. All right, so I measured up about 2 3/4 inches on my canvas and made a teeny tiny little mark right there. So I am going to mark that for my horizon line. We'll end up not seeing the horizon line at all by the time we're done. But we got to know where our sky is going to end. I want to make sure I got that. Yep, looks the same. I couldn't really exactly measure right there because the hands were over the horizon line, so I was just kind of estimating. Okay, we're going to put some tape. I'm just going to use regular Scotch tape. I'm going to move this out of the way so I have a place to put my paint. Just some regular Scotch tape. Hopefully there's enough on this roll. And I'm going to go just slightly below that line. I want that line to get caught in the paint as I paint. So I'm going to smooth that down. And then I'm going to fold over the tape out here on the edges. This will also give me something to grip when I take it off, but it's not going to make it stick to my surface. So I like to tear my tape longer than the project and fold it over so I have some tails to use to pull it off. Okay, we're going to be using a sponge to paint in our sky. Get my heat tool out here. We'll have to dry in between layers as we go here. Done with that, so let me put that away. So I've got my sponge sitting in water here, so I'm just going to wring out the water. Normally, you know, if I'm just painting, I would just go to my sink and get it damp. Come back to my studio here, squeeze out the excess water. We need it to be damp, but we don't want it to be dripping. That's going to thin our paint and make us work hard. We don't want to work hard. Okay, and then I can just drop it back in my bowl when I'm done. So, you know, I don't have to worry about the paint drying in it. Okay, colors. We're not going to use a whole lot of colors in this project. We've got antique gold, primary gold, true red. You can use any red that you want, white and black. That's all we're going to use. Oh no, I got to get open water. I forgot to get that color. We do need some blue in here, so I need to get open water. And I don't need white yet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a coat on here, then I'll go behind me and get my open water. I'm going to start with my antique gold here, and I want to start it down here at my horizon line. Now we'll have to do this a couple of times, so you know, first coat, you know, it's going to look pretty awful. You know, we have to fight through those ugly stages. Now I'm going to flip it over because I want to keep the red on this side, and we're going to go get some red. And see, I'm starting away from my yellow, okay, and I'm going to push it down into that yellow. Well, not push it, but paint it down into that yellow so we can make kind of an orange. I want it to be kind of orangey through here. And when we do our second layer, we'll definitely see that orange. And then up here is just going to be red. Okay. I'm only using one side of the sponge here, when I add my blue, I'm going to flip it over and use this side for my water. So let me go grab my open watercolor. Open water. It's the color I picked for my water. But, you know, whatever watercolor you have will be just fine. Okay, I'm going to dry this real quick with my heat tool. I've got a thin layer on here, so it won't take very long at all to dry. But you do want to make sure it's dry, because when you come back with your next coat, if it's not dry, you'll just lift the paint. And we don't want to be lifting any paint. Okay, this is a more beginner-friendly painting for those who are a little nervous about painting, and my sponge must be coming apart there. Let me get a little bit of moisture and a little bit more yellow on my palette. But anyway, for those that are, you know, just starting out and they're a little nervous about painting, I like to come in with a project that's not incredibly intimidating for those kind of painters. Alright, definitely didn't put out enough paint here, so let's get some more red. Alright, I want to work that down into that yellow so I can grab some of it. And man, my sponges, I think this sponge has about lived its life. A little bit more yellow in this area because I want it to be orangey through here. Bring it up. Your sky can look however you want it to look. Okay, I just want it kind of yellow at the bottom, kind of orangey through the middle here. We're just mixing the red and the yellow together. And then red, if you've got a nice manicure, you might want to wear some gloves to do this. And then just red up here. And then we'll work it down into that orange. Okay, so there's our sky. Super, super easy. I'm going to clean the red paint off my hands. I splattered it down onto my my water area. Baby wipes are your friends. If your baby wipes ever dry out, I just add some water down into the package and a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and regenerate them, and then the alcohol helps when you're needing to remove paint off of something. Okay, let me dry this because I'm going to have to take my tape off. Well, I can go ahead and take it off, I guess. Just take it off. Got a nice edge there. And now I'll dry that. So you should have a gradation of color, going from yellow into an orangey color into red. But if you want your sky to be all yellows, you can certainly do all yellows on the sky. You know, it's totally up to you. Okay, I'm going to take my sanding pad and sand that. Some pieces came out of my sponge and got on there. Alright, now I have to retape. Definitely want to make sure it's dry and cool. So I've got to tape just above that line that we made there. And then fold those in pieces. And we're going to use our blue, which mine is open water, and some red, so I'm going to put some more red out, and a little bit of white. I really love this open watercolor. I think it is such a beautiful color for water. Okay, so I'm going to flip over to the other side. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I had red paint all over my fingers, so I think I got red paint on this side. So we'll see. We'll see if it works out. So I'm going to grab my open water and a little tiny bit of that red, maybe a little bit more. Make it kind of a purpley blue. And we're going to start out back here with this color. A darker blue, and then we're going to take the blue just by itself. I'm not doing very good about getting enough paint out here today. And we're going to put it down here. Okay, this is just our first layer, remember. Work it up into that one. Smooth it out. Don't want any sponge strokes in it. And now we're going to dry this, and then we'll apply a second layer on here. And really don't worry too much about your horizon line, because you know, our hands, when they go on there, they're going to cover up that horizon line. The sun's going to cover up the rest of it, the glow from the sun there. Okay. Back to that darker blue. And I'll put a coat here. And then hopefully I had that turned the right direction. Not sure. We'll go to the lighter blue, or just the straight color out of the bottle. And then just kind of make them meet. Darker color, I think, needs to be just a little bit darker. Makes a little more red in it. It's kind of a purpley blue back here. And then just the straight blue down here. Okay, we got a nice flow of color there. Now I'm going to put this in my water so that the paint won't dry in it, because we are done with that. Clean my hands so I don't get paint anywhere on my painting that I don't want it. I made sure I didn't have a nice manicure today because I knew I was going to be painting with a sponge, and I rarely use gloves. So all right, let's pull this tape off. Still got a little white there that didn't get covered, but I'm not going to worry about it since my hands are going to cover that. They'll cover that right up. So my tape didn't get above the line enough, or below the line enough. Whichever one I put on there, I didn't get it on where it needed to be. And we're going to add some darker color back in here, so you know, if that's something that really bothers you, we can fill it in as we add stuff in here. So we're going to work on the clouds next. And clouds, these clouds especially, very easy. You can do no clouds at all if you don't want clouds. You can just do some linear type stuff, whatever you like to do. Oh, hi, Lynn, watching on the road. That's pretty cool. Thanks for watching on the road. I appreciate that. Hi, Anita and Marilyn. Glad to have you guys here. Okay, so for painting in the clouds, I just did a really loose kind of cloud thing. There's nothing really fancy or technical about this. These are not professional clouds. These are just, you know, background stuff, okay? So you can use, I used like a soft, this one's like a little mop brush, and this one's a dome brush. Either one of these will make great clouds. If you have a favorite brush that you like to use to make clouds, go for that. But I'm using it dry, and I'm going to mix my yellow and my white together and get a light yellow here. And we're just going to come down here and start making, kind of scumbling in some clouds. Some cloud shapes. You know, as you get closer to the horizon, they're linear. But our hands are going to cover up a lot of this. So, you know, just know that if you get a cloud in there you don't like, it's probably not going to be seen, especially this low. So this is some yellow and white clouds. A little bit more yellow in there. Now if you get a lot of paint on your brush, you might want to offload it. I'm just going to tap my paper towel there and start out very, very light. Since you don't know, you know, maybe how much paint is in your brush, you don't want it to come off hard and stark and like that just did. So just start out a little bit lighter, and then you can start giving more pressure as you move your clouds around. And you know, your clouds can, whatever shape you want them to be, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay, so I'm going to take some more. I want to start moving into a little bit of an orange cloud. So my yellow and white and a little bit of red. Maybe just a touch more red and a touch more yellow. I got a lot of white in there. And I definitely want it to be more of an orangey cloud. And my brush is really, really loaded here. Let's see if this color is going to show up. Oh yeah, that's going to show up nice. Okay, I'm just kind of scrubbing them in. I'm not really thinking too much about it or where they're going. Not too much about what they're looking like or anything like that. Put a little bit more red in there, make them. So just go with whatever color, you know, your sky is and create something that kind of has the values or the colors in it that your sky has. Now up at the top I did some darker clouds. I'm going to put one more of this color up in here. A little bit more red in my brush. And then we're going to make a little bit darker clouds up here. You know, if you don't want darker clouds in your stuff, then don't do it. So I took my red and a little bit of blue and made some purple. I did not wash my brush in between any of these cloud colors. Okay, and we're going to start up in here and make some a little bit darker. Just that dirty brush, I just added more red and some blue. And these clouds are not going to look anything like my other painting. That's okay. So just wherever you want to have some clouds. There's no right or wrong in here. A little bit more paint. Okay, just, you know, have fun with it. Clouds, these are easy clouds. These are no-brainer, don't think too much, just put it in clouds. Okay, so I think I'm going to finish with my brush for this part. I am going to put some lighter color on my clouds, but I think I'm just going to go to a, you know, like an angle brush or something and kind of scumble some in there. So for my yellow, I'll take mostly white and a little bit of yellow. And we're just going to create a little highlight kind of on the bottom of our clouds. And I'm kind of turning it upside down because it's just making it easier for me to get to the bottom of the cloud there. And just kind of shape that little highlight any way you want. Like I said, some of this we won't even see it. So that's why I don't want you to, you know, really stress out or be too concerned about, you know, all these clouds. And maybe this one comes up off of this way and this one's down here. I mean, you know, just whatever you want to do with your clouds. This is still just some white with a little bit of yellow in it, which I may use all the way up. I'll probably use a little bit of blue up in there. So it's just a little glow on the bottom of the clouds. This painting will probably end up in one of my mystery boxes. Okay. I'm kind of using almost a dry brush here. I haven't added any extra moisture to my brush since I loaded it the first time. Because I just want it to be a little more, you know, just paint. Just add that little bit of yellow in there. I'm going to move up to this one. I might add just a tiny bit more yellow, not a whole lot, and move up to this one. And again, I'm just kind of scumbling this along the bottom edges of my clouds. Or maybe there's a piece of an edge on a cloud up here. You know, it doesn't have to be all just a straight line across the bottom. So when we turn it back upright, we can see it a little bit more. Yellow and white, not a ton of paint on my brush. And just using that toe and almost dry brushing this. And my computer is making a horrible noise today, so hopefully that's not, it's my fan. I have two fans and one fan's been going out for a while, so it's really singing today. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Just keep going all the way up here. I'm going to get a little bit of moisture now because the brush is not wanting to release my paint now, so it's just a little bit drier than what I want it to be. So I'll start out light because now my paint is a little more wet. Maybe there's a little piece of cloud hanging in there. I'm not sure I like that. I'm trying to wipe that off now. Okay, so now we're into our darker clouds. Another tip I want to give you is if you get your clouds too dark, just take your red and create a wash and wash over those clouds, and it will, you know, tone them down and take them back into the sky a little bit more. So we're going to take our white. I'm not washing my brush. We're going to take our white. I'm going to add a little bit of blue this time to these clouds. Just scumble a little bit on these. I might add just a tiny bit more blue in there. Maybe if I can get it to come off on my brush. Okay, get the moisture out of my brush. Maybe this one has a little cloud here. There's a little piece of a cloud that I painted here. So this one I just added white and a little bit, just a little bit of blue, just to give that white a little blue tint. I'm still very soft. I'll take that water edge and kind of soften that out. That was much bolder than what I wanted. A little bit bigger, fatter cloud stuff that I put up here. Alright, a couple small ones here. Okay. Pretty good for clouds, huh? Not too bad. We do need one more little highlight on them. This is just a small one, just straight white this time. And it's just kind of a hit and miss kind of thing, just along the very edge here. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit and still keep the palette on camera. I'm just going along the edge and just kind of doing a little bit here and there of a highlight. Maybe there's some area of the cloud that's catching something a little bit more, you know, a little bit more brightness. You can leave this step off if you feel like your clouds are already plenty bright enough. This is just that brightest glow from the sun here. Okay, I think that is pretty good for our clouds. We're going to call them done. Done, done, done. You can hear my fan. I'm not surprised. It's really loud. It was much louder this morning. I was in here doing some stuff and I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to talk louder than that fan. Yes, it's been going out for a long time, but since I moved, when I rehooked everything up, when I moved, it didn't seem to make as much noise. So right now it's making a lot of noise, and I don't know if I need to open it up and kind of clean it a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been here long enough. I don't feel for it to, you know, really get too dirty, but things do get dirty quickly. Okay, so that is the sky. Super easy. You know, you can put more like linear, just straight white clouds back in there if you want, but I think that's good. I think that's good, and it was quick. All right, so back here on our water, we definitely want it to be a little bit, just a little bit darker than what it is. I've gone to a large brush here. I won't use it too much on this water. I just want to use it for back here in the back, and I'll probably use it after we put the hands on to do a little bit of darkening around the hands. So I'm just making a purpley color to go back here in the back of the water. And I might see if I can cover up that white line. I always like for your horizon line to be straight, but for this painting, we're not going to see it once we're done, but that might have been a little bit distracting for you guys. Red and blue, just make a purple color and go along that horizon line. I've got a glare on mine, so I want to make sure I can see that color a little bit. Then I'm just going to corner load and put a little bit of this color down in my water. Just creating some shadow places in the water, you know, wherever you want it to be. I'm going to lighten up down here, so, you know, just put a few. This is just skimming that brush across the surface here. This is a pretty quick little project. Okay, I'm going to mix the blue and the white now. Make sure I don't have any questions. If you have any questions, throw them up there. And make a little bit lighter blue. And I'm going to come this way and start adding some lightness. I mean, maybe the beach is like right there. So there could be some waves coming in on the beach there. Who knows? Just Again, I'm just kind of sliding my brush, you know, going back and forth in like a sawing motion here. And kind of letting the brush run out of paint as I get up here more to the horizon line. I want my lines to be straight, not... You can make little splashy waves, you know, if you want and all that. Just depends on what you want your water to look like. You still need a little bit more lighter color over here. So I just added a little bit more white to my brush. Maybe just a touch more white. I'm just going to keep adding white to lighten up that blue till I feel like it's creating a little bit more of some highlights on the water, because we can have more than, you know, one value of that light blue in there. That's going to make the water look really good. Try not to cover up a ton of your dark stuff, but you know, that dark stuff is under the water, so we kind of don't want it to be sitting on top. All right, our sun's going to be coming right through the center. We've got some nice water going here. And I don't like it to be just a straight line across there. I like for it to be, you know, make the water look like it has movement. I mean, it still has to go from side to side, but it can start here and work its way to the back and then work its way back to the front, and, you know, just go at an angle, just as long as you are going straight across. I hope that made sense and didn't confuse you at all. Oh my gosh. How do you send digital stars? I'm not sure. I think there's just something that you click on, and it should kind of tell you what to do when you click on. I'm not sure. I've never done digital stars, but I appreciate you if you do send some digital stars. Does help me be able to keep doing this stuff. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. I probably will come back in and add a few more just white in there. So I'm going to rinse the color out of my brush so it's not still blending with that white, and or with the blue, and just pick up white on the corner of my brush now. I'm still using this big one. What size do I have here? I have a size 16, which is bigger than a 1/2 inch, smaller than a 3/4. So, depending on what brand of brush you have, this is a Dynasty Black Gold brush. Okay, I just want some brighter areas that are going to be, because the sun's going to be coming through here. We're going to create some brightness, but it's good if we have a little bit already started in here. That's going to help us not work so hard. Now if you go this direction, it's going to make it look more splashy. See how those look higher? So they look more splashy than, you know, flat, like just movement of the water. Okay, put a little bit through here where the sun's going to be coming through. And we may be calling our water pretty done here. So that was pretty easy for the water, don't you think? Pretty easy. I want to get this dry because I want to put my line drawing on next. As soon as I find my line drawing, I'm not really sure what I did with it. Line drawing, where are you? I tell you what, I had so much going on today, and I had to stop and help my husband out in the garage, and right in the middle of me doing stuff, editing videos and all that stuff. So, line drawing. I think it may be in my cabinet here. Let's see. I found it. Alrighty. So my line drawing is going to go, let's see, let me look where it's at. It's up here. Like, you know, it's mostly up in the sky. We still want to see the water below it. I'm going to take that down. A couple of places here. I'm going to have to move it over because my hand's not all the way to the edge here. I want to make sure my hand is at the edge. And hopefully it will be straight. Okay, I'm just going to use some gray graphite and slide that underneath there and transfer these lines. You can use white as well, it doesn't matter. We're painting it in with black, so check and make sure that's transferring. Okay, lift it up, make sure we got our lines on there good. That looks pretty good. So we're done with the line drawing. Okay, so we're going to work on our sun. So I am actually going to use a stencil for my sun. You do not have to use a stencil. You can just paint it in with a brush. I think my original one I did paint it in with a brush, and then when I got done I thought a stencil would make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to use a stencil. Now I just want to show you some options for your stencils. This is actually a template from Michaels. I think they're green now. I don't think they're this color. But it's got all these different size circles. Now when you use this particular one as a stencil, you have got to put some Scotch tape and block. Like if you're doing this little one here, you've got to tape off those other circles around it so that you don't accidentally, you know, paint into those. You need to do it with any stencil that has different size circles than what you're using. Okay, so there's your option. Then I have this one that I sell on my website that starts from 1/4 inch. It goes up 1/4 inch all the way to 2 inches, so you've got varying sizes. I like to use this one for my bokeh effects, and I have one that's varying size circles that I like to use for my bokeh effect. So, but this one, you know, starts at 1/4 inch, goes up to 2. Today, however, I'm going to use these two because with a smaller piece, I just think it's going to be easier to manipulate a smaller stencil. This is a 1/4 inch stencil, and this is a 3/4, I believe. Let me check that out. Might be a 1/2 inch. Yeah, this is a 3/4 inch circle right here, and we're going to start it in our sun area right here, which is going to be right below the fingers. Okay, so I'm going to tape this. I'm not going to tape off my circles because I painted this enough. I don't know. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I won't get paint where I don't need it, but we've got a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, so I'm going to grab my primary yellow and put it on my palette now. And we're going to use primary yellow and white. This first layer I probably will add just a little bit of antique gold in here because it's going to make it more opaque. Okay, let me get a dry paper towel because I want to remove a lot of this off of here. And then here's where my circle's going to be, and I'm just going to give myself a placement for my sun. My sun will be white, but we need some placement for where the sun is going to go. Okay, just a simple little circle there. And then I'm going to take the paint that's in this brush and kind of dry brush it through here and through here and through here. Let's see, yeah, I came all the way down to the bottom of the canvas here with this glowy color. Okay, I got to get that dry because I want to do this around my sun as well. This is all underpainting. Got layers to go here. I want to make sure it's cool. I don't want to heat set my paint immediately so that I can't move it or do what I want to do with it. And I'm going to put some of this around the sun, where I put my sun. Just kind of, you know, scumble it around there. That circle is eventually going to be white. And I'm going to go down here and do it another time down in these areas. We're going to be brightening that with a little bit of the bright yellow. Okay, I want to dry it in between my layers because when I go to my next layer, if I don't have it dry, I'm going to lift the paint. And that's a lot of work put in, and you don't want to, you know, remove what you just put in there. All right, so now I'm just going to load the bright yellow because we got to get this really bright. So again, I'm just going to scumble this around. You see how it's already brightening that? Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Down through here, down through here. Okay. Again, we're going to dry it. Okay, make sure it gets cool before you grab some paint. We're going to go into some white now. Now this is going to mix with that yellow that's on there. So I'm going to do it twice so I can get it a little bit lighter. Okay, let me go back to my stencil. I want to start lightening where my sun is going to go. Just going to tap that in there. Start creating my bright sun circle. Okay, we're going to tap some here. I am just tapping now. I'm not doing the dry brushing thing. I'm tapping. I'm going to tap kind of a circle type shape in the center here because this is reflecting down onto the water. So we want to have, you know, a similar shape as what the sun actually is. So just tap that in there. Okay. Again, I do want to dry in between my layers. I'm going to remove as much paint out of this brush as I can. And I want to start just using straight white. It still will mix a little bit with the yellow in there, but if I can get as much of the yellow out of my brush before I start adding the white in there, it won't tint it near as much. Okay, just white. Okay, back to my stencil here. Bright, bright. And this isn't even bright white yet, so through here, and through here. Okay? Drying between is very important. Okay, on my sun, before I go and add more layers, I want to make some bright yellow around the edge of my sun here. And this is pretty sheer because this yellow is not truly opaque. I'm kind of bringing it onto the sun a little bit there. We'll end up not seeing a lot of it once we finish painting our sun in, but we're getting a little bit of it past out there, so it's going to have an extra glow out past the sun once its final white layer is put on. Okay, you can also bring some yellow out, some streaky stuff coming off of the sun out past where it kind of glows here. You know, if you kind of like that look, you can do that. I'm going to bring a little bit more of this yellow out a little farther to kind of even it out how far it is over there. And then down here we can do the same thing around our white areas, just a little bit of this bright yellow. Because, you know, what we do to the sun, we need to do to our reflections. Just some brightness in that yellow. And onto the white a little bit. Oh, it's looking so good. All right, again, I want to try and remove a lot of that paint out. If you have another stencil brush you can go to, then certainly go to that for your bright white. This still isn't going to be my brightest white, just so you know. I'm going to put a layer in here. I will need at least one more layer of just white on here. A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. All right, I'm going to clean a little bit of that white out. We're going to go to our small stencil now, and we can go back a step and add a little bit of yellow into that white. This is going to give us some varying values with our bokeh effect that comes in around all of our glowing stuff in the water. So we're just starting this bokeh effect sparkle kind of thing. And it doesn't matter if you get it where your fingers are. When we come and paint all that, it'll all be covered up. So it's not a concern at this point. We're just creating some of these circles wherever you want them. This is just the first little layer on here. Giving everything a little bit of sparkle is all it's doing. This is still that yellow and white mix. I'm going to come in with some brighter white ones. Okay, I'm going to wipe that paint off and grab some white. Work that into my brush. Any questions, let me know. We're going to start putting some of these brighter ones in the center here where we made that bright white and really make that sparkle. Put some of these brighter ones out, away from that a little bit. You just be the judge. overlap your circles, because that makes it look, I don't know, I don't want to say so much better, but it does make it look so much better. More natural, I guess I should say. We'll put a couple of more just really, really bright ones in here. Let's go up here by the hands and do some. I got to put a few more in the center still. Put one up here, because in my original one I did put one up here. Okay, I'm just looking at it. I'm gonna kind of compare it to my original one. I had more coming out here, out a little bit farther. One over here, and one kind of down here. Okay, that's a lot of sparkle going on there. Okay, so I need just a few, just incredibly bright white. So I definitely need a couple on top of this area. This area is really bright in the very, very center. Now you can do all of this with a paintbrush. Don't feel like you have to have a special stencil or, you know, a stencil brush or anything like that. I mean, it does make it go faster, but it's not mandatory in order to do a bouquet effect. I'm going to go up here and do the sun again. Get it super bright. Super bright. I'm probably done with the bouquet part. I do need to get just a little bit of yellow up on my sun. So I'm going to get this dry. We got to put some little shiny dots sparkle in the water. Okay. First we'll put the yellow up on the sun. So I'm going to side load that bright yellow to my brush. I want to make sure it's cool. And then on the sun itself, I'm going to float this yellow all around the edge of it. And just get that little bit of yellow on there. Okay, let's add some little white sparkle. So I'm just taking a small round brush. You can use a detail liner if you want to. And I'm just going to create some little sparkle areas on here. And the water coming off of the glow. It doesn't matter, wherever you want them to be. Just some little sparkles. Shine it up. It's like glitter on the water. Some of them could be bouncing out here a little bit farther. Okay, I did put a couple up here as well. Little, like sparkly things. Okay, they're just little bitty dots. teeny tiny dots. You don't want them to be great big. Fresh paint is going to work best for these. So if you have some fresh paint, go ahead and do that. So down here I need a few more little sparkles. And we can put some little streaks across here so we make this, you know, we know it's in the water. The reflection is in the water. And not sitting on top of the water. That's important. Okay. All right, I think our glow and our sparkle and everything looks pretty good. A few of these, spit my words out, could be brighter white. So I think a couple of these I will do another little tap of white on here. Especially kind of coming off the center here, I think. I want that brightness really coming down through the center. So just a second layer. I mean, it's easy. You just put the stencil right over the circle that you already made, if you're using a stencil, and create another. Just create it a little bit brighter. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think we're done with the stencil. We're done with the stencil brush. A few more little sparkles in there, I think, and then we're going to paint in the hands. And they'll be pretty easy. A couple of coats of black. Some of my sparklies kind of faded away, so I just need them to be a little bit brighter. And bring some out a little bit farther. Make a couple of these up here a little brighter. Alright, we're ready to paint our hands in now. We're just going to use black for that. So just put some black on your palette, and oops, it'll take a couple of coats to get this painted in opaque. And I grabbed my ginormous brush, so we'll see how well I can do with it. I may have to go to a smaller brush here. I want to cover up the line. Quite make that knuckle big enough. To get a little water for this. There we go. A little bit higher knuckle. If you lose your shape, after you get it painted in with black, you can come back in with your line drawing and put it back on in the areas where you need to see like separation of, you know, the hands. There's one hand. Just take your time, follow your lines. I'm still just using this 16 flat here. Might be a wash brush. It says it's a chisel blender. And by the way, there is a coupon code for Deco Art down in the description. My new one for the year, which is get you 20% off until June 30th. It's a one-time use. Use the link that is there with it. There's the link first, and then the coupon code is right below it. But if you haven't purchased anything from Deco Art this year, then please use that coupon code. 20%, that's pretty good savings. Oh, it's looking so cute. This may be where I should probably go to a smaller brush. Oh, goodness. Okay, there's my first layer. So I get to dry it so I can get a second quick layer on there. And then we can highlight on the hands. I do need to do a little bit of shading underneath the hands and the water, and maybe a few more highlights coming out this direction. Once you get the hands in there, you can really see where you need to you know, add more highlights in your water. So this time I'm thinning down my paint with some water, which you can't even see. My black is here. I just dipped my brush in water, and now I'm thinning it down here, because this layer is just going to fill in where the paint didn't quite cover, so I don't have to be so concerned. I don't have to go all the way to the edges, because I got my edges nice and good. So this layer is generally for me a much quicker layer, because it's, you know, it's like a heavy wash, meaning that the wash has more paint in it, or more pigment, than just painting, you know, with a light wash, which is what I do a lot when I float. Water in my paint here. So this just kind of fills in the gaps where the first layer didn't quite cover well. Okay. So that's the black. I'm going to shade underneath, while that dries, I'm going to shade underneath the fingers here. I'm just going to stay with this big brush. I'm going to use that blue and red for that purple that I did, and just darken the I might add a tiny little bit of black in there, because I feel like it needs to be just a touch darker purple. So I'm just going to go underneath here in the water and just create my darker water back here. I mean, the hands are not creating a shadow in the water. This is my water in the back, close to the horizon, where I want my water to be darker. It just wasn't dark enough for me, so it wasn't looking like I wanted it to look. And then now we can add a few more little streaks of some white in here. Get that hand dry, and we gotta add some highlights in here. A little bit stronger over here. Okay. I feel like it still needs to come over farther on this edge because it comes over farther there. Let me make sure my hands are dry so we can highlight on the hands. Okay, if you can't tell where your fingers are, you just put your line drawing back on if you need to. I'm just going to draw them on here so you can kind of see where they separate. And we're just going to highlight with some white. This is a hit and miss kind of highlight that we're going to do here. So we're just going to kind of hit where the sun is kind of hitting on that. That was kind of a wide float there. Didn't want it to be quite that wide. I think I might have to go to a different size angle brush here. I want soft starting and ending areas. We'll end up repeating this. And we're just going on the inside edge. We're not going on the top or the lower edges. This is all just on the inside edge here. Because we want the heart shape to be, you know, the focal point and the star of the painting. I'm not putting a ton of paint on my brush either because, you know, this first one I just want to establish where things are. I'm going to put just a little bit here so I can break up where the two fingers are. And I can remove that line that I put there with my pencil. And then we can just come back and brighten those. You know, if you get them too wide, you don't like them, and it's just painted with black, so you can clean it up and remove anything you don't like with some black. Okay, that doesn't really need to be quite that big right there. It just needs to have a kiss of highlight to know where the separation of the fingers are, so I'm going to take that down quite a bit. Just a little bit. Okay. And you'll varnish it with whatever varnish that you want to use. Super fun, super easy, but super impactful. That's why I like doing silhouettes, because they're very, very impactful. I think, you know, they just really get your attention. So, do I have any questions on this project at all? I'm going to show you what we're going to do next week here in a second. Get this off my easel so you can see it all by itself without anything distracting from it. Fun, fun, fun. Super, super easy. Free line drawing on my website, so you know, if you want to paint it, go over there and grab that free line drawing, which lists all the paints that I just used. Not very many. We used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors is all we used. Okay, let's bring the original in, because you know, I like to compare. My clouds up here are a little bit darker. I think I like them a little bit lighter, but if you like the darker, then that's good. I did do a little bit more bokeh here than I did on this one, so you know, do a little bit, paint your hands. If you want more, add more. You can always, if you get it in the hand area, you can always go back with your black and clean it up. So easy peasy. Looks pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. So that is this one. Do I have any questions on this one? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. So I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing next week. If you watched my coffee and chat, you saw these. If I can pick them up. My art letters. Wide angle out here. ART. So these letters here I've had for quite a while. I got them at Hobby Lobby, but when I was in there about a week and a half ago, they did not have any of this particular style of letter. So I went to Walmart, and Walmart had them. I was surprised Walmart had them. At Walmart, theirs are 1.5 inches shorter, but which is fine. That's what I'm going to be painting on next week, is the ones from Walmart. They were $2.18 each. You can also get these letters at Amazon. I don't really remember how much they were. They were $3 something each letter, I think, but I'm not 100% sure on that. These are 9.5 inches. The one I'm going to be painting on next week are 8 inches. So it just depends on how big of letters that you want. And they don't have to be this particular font. They can be whatever you have. I mean, they can be the paper mache ones. They make those, and they're big letters and chunky, and they're fun. I think that's what... No, I just have block letters on top of my paint cabinet behind me. But they are still this kind of, this wood stuff. Okay, so this is what we're painting next week, and I believe I will list, I can't remember if on my community tab on YouTube if I've listed, I don't think I've put this up there yet, but when I put it on my community tab, I'll list everything that we need, that you will need to paint this. I will also, in case you want to do it with me. And when I put it on when we do it live next week, I'll have in the comments or in the description listed everything that I used. So scrapbooking paper, some stamps. These are chipboard bees that came from Sandy McTeer. Some jewels. I just bought a package of 8mm various colored jewels at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Walmart. I don't remember where I got them. I went all those places that same day looking for stuff. And I'm going to show you how I made these. These are dimensional, and I'm going to show you how I made them. It's also with a Deco Art product. A couple of products that you can use to make those, but it's going to be fun. I'm going to show you how to put the paper on and everything. So we're going to paint these up, and they are going to be beautiful. Whatever colors you want to put on your letters is fine. This is one color in the center, and then the outer edges have a light color. These are all different papers, even the light colored ones. They are all different papers, but they're in the same tone, you know. They're this light gray. So whatever you choose will be fine. But I'm planning for next Wednesday. I'm not sure if that will happen. Uh-oh, what just happened there? Just moving my screen all over the place, I'm trying to get me so I can move me down, make me bigger. There we go. It's having a hard time finding me. I'm going to turn my lights on my sides now. Oh, one thing I didn't show you guys on my coffee and chat were these really cool lights, man. Turn this way, turn that way. They come down, they go up. These are Cricut lights my son and daughter-in-law gave me for Christmas. And I have one that sits on my desk over here. Let me get in front of the camera. And then one that's on the floor over here. So I've got a floor standing one that I can move around the room that I need, and then one that sits on my desk over here. So I love these lights. They are awesome. They are really, really awesome. They do a great job of brightening up my stuff. Oh, I did want to show you real quick some letters that I did. I know I showed this in my coffee and chat, but to give you an option, you know, if you want to do this next week, you don't have to get as fancy as I'm getting on those. I mean, as mixed media. These are just the same type of letters. Okay, I used all the same paper on the top and bottom, but different paper through the middle, only all the same value of blue. Okay. And then there's some little flowers that are drawn on here. These are not my design, so I couldn't share those with you. But you know what? These are very simple flowers, very simple daisies, 5-petal flowers, and some tulips. Very, very, very simple. And then in the end, everything is outlined with a black pen. So these are very, very basic, simple. I'm going to be a little more involved with the ones that we do next week because I wanted something brighter and a little bit more. I still love these letters, but I was ready for some bright, fresh letters in my studio because I do have these up. Which way do I need to go? Up in my studio. So that is my lights are Cricut brand. You know, like the Cricut machine. C-R-I-C-U-T, I believe is how you spell it. But they have different colors. Let me bring it down. I don't know if this will show. Different color of lights. I think it's got 4 different color lights, and then it's got a dimming. You can dim them. It's not really showing too much on the camera shot, but I like that I can turn them this way, and you know, I can bring it down if I'm really trying to see something that I'm not 100% sure what I'm painting. I can bring the lights down, but yeah, they are really fun lights. All right, you guys, I appreciate you guys being here today. This was a fun one for me, very relaxing, and I had such a busy morning, so I was very happy to sit down and paint something more relaxing for you guys. So. And I didn't use very many brushes at all on this project, so you know, use what you have. and just have fun with it. Create that as big or as small as you want, on a sack, on a rock, on, you know, whatever you want to do with it. It's a fun one. So hopefully you guys will paint it up and share it with your loved ones. You know, maybe you have a grandchild you want to paint it on and fill it full of goodies, and, you know, paint it on a bag for them or something for Valentine's Day. So that's it for me, you guys. I'm not seeing any more questions pop up here, so I am going to get ready to sign off. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please be sure and hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's to help me get out there to more people, you know, and get more people painting, and you know, maybe see my designs and, you know, want to jump into the painting world and start painting. So, you know, if you have not subscribed, please do so. Give me a thumbs up. If you've enjoyed this at all, leave a comment and share. I appreciate you guys so incredibly much. You have no idea how much I enjoy these lives, coming to you and painting with you guys. So I am going to sign off for now, and you guys have a wonderful and blessed remainder of your day, and a wonderful and blessed remainder of your week, and I will see you next week. We got family coming in this weekend, so I'm excited. So I'll see you guys next week.